2011. Referral system for regular users and the first deposit bonus. Gaming devices store and the best choice of payment systems. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, Counter-Strike and StarCraft, World of Tanks and League of Legends. EGB.com. You know for sure who's going to win.
Getting tired of playing with the usual skins but don't have enough money to buy a new one? Get rich fast with CSGoFast.com. CS Go Fast. It's a strong chance of winning in every game. Several rooms with different game modes. Daily, more than 1,000 games, 5,000 players, and 25,000 skins at stake. You don't need much in order to sweep the board.
Hello and welcome to the Starladder I-League Star Series Season 2. We are now also in Stage 2 of Season 2, so things getting a little bit more interesting. We will be going into our game in just a moment with MK and Spirit. Of course, my name is TomBiz14. Joining me is Flakes. And, well, where do you think this one is going to be going?
I think this one is a lot kind of harder to go to prediction.
Avoiding the question.
We seem to be going that way with Stage 2 games. We've not really had a clear-cut kind of game so far. I think we should be seeing this one going the way of MK, but of course there's a couple of problems to why we might not be seeing that as well. We do look to Spirit to see if they can provide a couple of unique plays.
Well, yeah, that's the big problem for me, is we've actually seen these two teams play just earlier this week in the sort of ESEA playoff sort of things. And, well, the real problem is the fact that Dreamer could play then, and he can't play now. And I think in one of the maps he actually top-fragged, and so they have to now bring Nikki back into the mix, which worked for them during the qualification, although I don't think they won every single game, as Epsilon actually managed to take the map off them. But, yeah, definitely a more sort of problematic scenario. But we do have the map veto going on. This was something I was sort of interested by just because I wasn't sure where they were going to take this, because for Spirit's sake, you have to talk about the fact that they recently actually lost against them, so they may have changed the band. And you can actually see they've done that. They've taken out Cobble, which was a map that they actually played last time. I think it was dust2 and Cobble. They've left in dust2, a map that they are always playing. I think it's the same for MK, so that's definitely going to be in. And you can see dust2. Mirage is a more interesting one, though, because you've taken out Cobble and you've gone, okay, we don't want to play you at Cobble, but I wouldn't want to play them at Mirage either. They are very big fans of Mirage, and they'll play that map all the time. So, yeah, a bit of an interesting map pool, but well, and a pistol, I guess, because we're straight in. So,
oh well, that's
no time to waste.
Yeah, quick pace action. No time for us to really try to dig deep into exactly how this one will unfold. Of course, taking a look at Team Spirit, it's going to be the 4-man set of armor and the kit on Sotfik as well. It's just a handful of utility for the MK side. It's going to be also a fairly standard one, just 4 sets of Kevlar, and also just a smith of utility in the hands of Bubble. While talking about how this round is playing out, it's going to be MK looking for a little bit of aggression over towards that long, just sending 2 men over there to probe that one out and see if they can maybe find themselves a frag, work out exactly what is going on, and we'll see if they can kind of get Spirit to go for a little bit of a rotate, readjust, and overall just give away a lot of information to the MK side.
Yeah, and of course, in this sort of scenario, the one thing that I want to highlight, even though I don't have much time to do it, is this AWP battle that will be coming in at some stage. Bubble versus Dabkos. Obviously, Dabkos, one of the highlight players, but already we see Bubble taking that duel. That's a perfect start. The Authors have their duel, and it's going to be the win to Bubble in this scenario, taking that first headshot and rolling on to start this one off with a man advantage.
Not sure if Tony is Kubakan or not, but I'm going to go with Tony for now. Just running with the age-old rule. Of course, looking at how this round is unfolding, it's going to be MK trying to now claw their way up towards short. They've got no one over towards long, and they've dropped that control at all. But overall, they don't really need it. Let's take a look at where Spirit located. Very much based towards mid and CT, as now that bomb's going to get himself comfortably over towards A. No one being able to contest it on the Spirit side. We'll do see Dima coming with one. Takes down Nikki. Sotfik can come with another frag, takes down Victor. But even then, MK, they now have the plant. They have the positioning, but Bubble, he gets taken down, perhaps just being a bit too aggressive, as now Sotfik will be the one to find that frag. Nikki going to be trying to hold a short, playing the close angle, goes to the peak, gets punished. Coldly taking him down. And now we're looking at Starladder, 1 man up against 4. Not much he can do here. Already going to be going for the peak, trying to make the best of this block, but even at these close ranges, it proves just not to be enough. He's spamming away, but he's being overrun, and, well, they might not be missing the shots in the end of things. Eventually, he's going to be meeting his death, and that bomb will get defused.
Yeah, they managed to bring that one back after, especially the first frag going away, the bomb going down, and managing to retake with still 3 players surviving. That's quite a nice round in the end from the Team Spirit side of things. And, well, to now go into this one, they're actually going to buy up rifles very early on. Of course, there's always that factor that we talk about with MK, the force buys. And I didn't even get to finish the sentence before they start buying things back up. And yeah, well, no surprise. Absolutely no surprise. The only player who saved a little bit of money will be Bubble, who isn't actually going to buy any nades. Instead, we'll try and get that AWP possibly a little bit earlier on. But this is the MK way of doing things, and it either works spectacularly or fails spectacularly.
Spectacular, certainly the phrase that comes to mind. Looking for MK to get an explosive start into the second round. They need to find themselves some quick-paced frags. Otherwise, these rifles and SMGs, well, they will have the sustainability to outgun them, outplay them, and ultimately watch Spirit get onto their second round. As now that clock going to be ticking down. We don't have to see too much movement from MK just yet, but at the same time, they're very much leaning over towards long, as well as coming short. They're going to go straight for the push. She's getting punished by this UMP. Nikki will find the trade. Slightly iffy play from Tony, but it should be Davkos just to mop that one up. Takes him down with the USP. Makes himself a little. Now Colby going to be playing over towards CT. The one nice thing for MK, they've got a plant. But that's going to give them some money. But in a force-up scenario, they need the round.
Yeah, it's nice in terms of some teams, but I feel like for MK sometimes it can be much worse either way. We are going to see NKL manage to grab one kill, Spiley to do the same, but he's very low on HP, only really needs to connect one bullet, and he's going to jump down, try and go for the knife, and it's not going to pay off. They are going to throw some rifles back up in order to keep those into the next round, and, well, smart decision. Just be a little bit careful he doesn't face off that defuse, but yeah, they'll keep their rifle in. Coldy doing most of the damage, but rest of the team doing their work as well. And while getting the bomb down here, there's an even higher possibility that they'll actually go for another force. And well, there you go.
The fact that you even asked that question when we're talking about Mortal Kombat, I'm kind of shocked. MK will just force 24/7. They don't have any restraint. They just keep on going. They're a train that never runs out of steam. And well, we said it before, not a fan of it. Not a fan of it now either.
Yeah, I think in this scenario, it's more the idea of actually trying to break the economy. And they are actually pretty damn good at that. As you see NKL coming in with that first frag, and unexpected buy, I think, from the majority of teams. But this is something that they do quite often, and against sort of teams of maybe lesser skill or teams of equal skill, this can really throw them off. I think if they ever tried this against someone like Fnatic, they'd get destroyed. But they're not playing against Fnatic, they're playing against Spirit, and they don't have their full roster either, so they're just going to try and basically aim duel their way straight out of this one. And well, it started pretty nicely in this round. They're very close to actually resetting that CT economy. And although most times I would hate on it, the ability to get 5 rifles on the board does sort of suggest that after getting it down to just 2 players remaining, that this was probably worth it.
Worth it. Whether it's still a big fan, well, that's going to be the question. As Demon and Davkos will pick up one respective, looking to do some damage at least, as they will bring things back to a 2 versus 3. This is possible for Spirit, but they can't make a single mistake, because ultimately if any one of them fall, at that point you'd have to say it's all over. No, okay, they're going to be slowing this one right down, playing with those 45 seconds in full force, as they know, well, they don't have to overface. Demon going to go for a bit of an aggressive push for short, gets punished, gets taken down. Nikki to be the man to find the frag. And now Sophic, he's that last man standing, and I think, as I said before, if any one of them falls, it is all over. At this point, well, there's nothing Sophic can do. He might have an M4, but he should be saving it.
Yeah, realistically, there's not too much he can hope to achieve in this round. The fact that they've managed to make this work is really nice for the T side, as they will break that economy a little bit earlier than expected and get their first round on the board. So it is sort of, it's one of those, I don't even want to say double-edged sword, I want to say it like it's a very, it's like sort of on one side it's a sword and on the other side it's a dagger. Whereas occasionally that dagger might come useful and it will work out, as we're seeing here, but in a lot of scenarios the other side of things where they get crushed can come in as well. So yeah, not quite the sword, but maybe the knife, at least. And, well, we are going to see some more aggression from Victor. Manages to clean out the round, grab himself an M4, which is basically just a silenced version of the weapon he already had. And, yeah, that actually works out very nicely for them. Davkos now the only person with any real money. They could go for a force back up and try and break the economy straight back down, but I don't think that's going to be the case. And, of course, I think Spirit especially are a team that play a lot more better with a full buy in hand. Whereas, for me, MK, I sometimes actually feel like they're as good with the pistols as they are with the rifles.
An interesting question. I'm going to be looking to see what they can do with the Scout and Mac 10. Spider are going to be the man to look to make some money in this round. But he's also going to be being the player who will get spotted first. The opportunity for Spirit to take him down will certainly present itself. But it comes down to Spirit. They have to group up and play numbers to their side. They have those pistols. They tend to play better in those close-range scenarios. How exactly do they want to go about this one? Of course, they're leaving B very much ripe for the pickings. Only one player going to be there to hold that one off. It's going to be Sophic playing that close left angle with the P250. The one problem with me in that angle in particular is it's very much expected. And now that smoke going to be going down into mid. This 3-man crossfire could be huge, but already Starladder will find himself one. If he checks this right corner with the flash, it could be perfect. He's going to be doing just that. Finds the second frag. And now we're looking at Tony just lurking around the smoke. Going to be going for the tap with the USB, trying his best, drops it, exchanges it for a 5-7. But even then, now we see this push roll in towards B. Sophic going to fall straight off the bat. Just a common position being just a little bit too overused. As now Starladder going to make himself so much money in this round, making it 3.
Yeah, already getting himself $1,800 into his bank account and leaving Davkos sort of alone on the other side of the map to just try and save this weapon. Not really going to be doing too much with it in the next round anyway, as he will have enough to buy up an AWP. Was just really doing this to try and do some extra damage, but it doesn't look like they've really achieved too much, especially when you look at every single player still alive. And, well, Spy Leader may even go on the hunt here because he's got nothing really left to lose. Same with the scout on Bubble as well, and you can see Spy Leader going to go running in. Will actually get taken down. Nothing really worth saving on the side of Davkos, so not going to peek into that angle, just doing his best to stay alive. And it's actually quite smart from the T's. They're not really challenging too heftily. They'll challenge with the worthless gun, the MAC-10, but they're not going to challenge themselves with anything else that would actually be worth keeping.
So a little bit of smart play coming out from the MK side. The opportunistic force-up, it seems to be paying some dividends. They've brought it back to Tool, but now they're looking to take it one step further, Tom. They want to take themselves a round lead and start building off of that on their T side. The one problem they've got, Spirit, that save in the last round, well, it's going to be paying some really nice factors for them. As we'll take a look at, they've got the AWP in play on Davkos. He's going to be looking for a shot down mid. Going to get forced off by the scout of Bubble though, so he's not going to be going for the overface. That's a little bit of smart play rolling in from him. For the most part, Spirit, they're by, well, they're very happy with it.
Yeah, of course, the one thing about the Mortal Kombat style of players, a lot of the time they can keep teams off these sort of weapons. But you saw the save come out from Team Spirit. In terms of utility, they're not really in a very good position at all. I'd say, what, just 3 smokes, a flash. Not really what you want to be playing with when trying to hold down pushes, especially over towards that B site. Early aggression will mean Quebec is tagged down low. And, well, Dima are actually going to be the first to fall as well, making this already a hefty round in terms of damage. Cody will now fall, and this leaves 3 players left, 1 heavily tagged, and the AWP, all that's really left to play with.
Bit of an awkward situation to try and worm their way out of as we look for stuff like he's the one playing up close and personal in mid. The potential for him to find a 3k here, certainly on the cards, but he would be having to tap every single head flawlessly without a single mistake if he's to pull this one off. This Bubble just going to be lurking his way through short. He's got the scout, so he's got the longer range advantage. He could take the head clean off a Sophic in mid as well if he finds the shot. But it's actually going to be Nicky to open things up, takes down Tony, bring it even further. Okay, Fader. And Davkos going to come up with an AWP shot though, takes down Nicky, so the trade will roll in. So it's a nice way for them to try and keep this one going. But even then the damage being done, and MK, well, they're in a 4 versus 2. They're not worried at all.
Yeah, the bomb plant as well will just make this nigh on impossible. Davkos is now going to fall, so the AWP is just laying on the floor. And Sophic, he's going to slowly get surrounded as a player's pushing from CT. Should give away his position, and even going to find that frag as well. And, well, adding insult to injury there as Bubble's now going to get himself a free AWP. So a really nice start actually from Mortal Kombat. It looked a little bit sketchy with the sort of force buys that they were going for, but they make it work. They get themselves back, and now Team Spirit, they're going to be the ones going on that eco, and it should be a free round on the hands of MK. And you look at the wonders it's actually done for their economy. You already have a couple of people, well, 3 people over that 7,400 marker, and Demon now as well, going to be down to 30 HP.
For me, the current performance of MK is down to some masterful performances, mostly from NK on Starladder. Starladder being a player that you wouldn't necessarily look at and go, this guy's going to step up in this game, he's going to go big. Usually, you'd be looking at players like Victor maybe, or Nicky as a substitute, times to pop off. But this round, it's going to be a couple of frags rolling backwards and forwards. Victor going to be trying to trade this one back into their Fader. Does just that, finds himself one, looking to make it 2. Just going to be pushing up nice, close and personal, finds himself 1 straight back. But the trades will still favour the MK side, as Victor going to be the one to find that last frag. And what's the 3 versus 2, Tom? They've got the pistols in play on the Spirit side. But in reality, I think they've done enough damage, but certainly isn't an opportunity for them to do any more.
Yeah, well, there's a low player, so Victor only on 6 HP, so there's still the potential that any sort of shot from any range, even to the foot, would take him out of the round. Maybe not a foot through the door, that would be a little bit too far, but yeah, still potential to do a little bit. Of course, catching someone with a headshot does mean there's a possibility. Of course, no rifles yet being able to be picked up onto that CT side, although there are a couple lying around, so it may be worth going on the hunt for those, especially once the bomb actually goes down onto that B site. They know for a fact they've taken someone down over towards long. And, well, you can see this is now just going to be a fairly comfortable position. MK making sure every single angle is clean, and they have every single angle covered for any chance of retake. And, well, you can see them now pushing towards long, trying to find that rifle, and there you go, they find 2.
That's going to be something that means that going for an overzealous push now, at this point, completely pointless. They've got those 2 rifles. They should be able to comfortably save these ones into that 7th round. But an interesting talking point for me is we're actually seeing almost a surgical style coming out from MK. They might be this force-up kind of heavy team, but we can't knock the fact that they have slightly changed things up in this game. They're bringing something a little bit new to the table, and overall this surgical style of just checking every single corner, making sure every single space is clear, well, it's working out for them. They're going to find themselves at a 2 force and 0.
Yeah, I do have to say, a lot of the overzealous nature of MK, there have been occasions where I've seen them play like this before. Like, they do have this sort of style to throw out every once in a while, especially versus anti-ecos. Like, they're a team who's very good at winning anti-ecos when they have those pistols, but they're also quite good at actually stopping the amount of damage or the level of the damage that can come in. The only problem is when those full buys come in and it comes to actually rolling rounds together and saving, and they're the ones with the economic drought, then you can see the weakness of this MK side. But this sort of position, they're going to be really happy with how this has started. And already they found a tag onto Sophic again. So Bubble doing some nice work with the AWP so far. And looking for Davkos, his counterpart, to actually do the same.
He is going to be looking just straight up towards the shore, seeing if maybe he can find something. But it doesn't look like anything is presenting itself. Unfortunately, might be biding his time, but he wants to find something. He's now going to get to that 1 minute 20 clock on the clock. It looks like we want to be seeing a little bit of aggression rolling out. Victor and Colby going to find 1 respectively. The trades will roll in. This one is still favoring the MK side, especially when NKL will take the head clean off of Sophic. Now this push is going to be barreling straight on towards this B side. Davkos needs to do something here. He needs to land the shot, but it's not happening. It's actually going to be Dima to do the work. He finds 2. Bubble trading it straight back, doing the work with his own AWP. But even then, go back to a 2 versus 2. But take a look at Cody's position. This could be huge, because if they slow the push down towards B, it all doesn't matter. Victor, he'll find himself 1. Now Davkos straight back with the AWP, looking to find this 1 versus 1. Going for the shot, will miss it. Now whipping out the pistol, but he finds the headshot. And out of nowhere around, it looked like it was going to get very, very tough for the Spirit side. Well, Davkos, after, what was it, a barrage of failing shots, eventually lands the most important one.
Yeah, positional-wise, he wasn't like going anywhere overzealous. It was more a passive style of AWP, and I think that can actually work out better sometimes. Yes, a player who hits every single shot is still superb, but if he'd run out there, gone over aggressive, hit a shot and then died, it was a lot less valuable than what he actually decided to do. So, yeah, not too bad at all. Manages to find the frags in the end. The only problem is they need to now counter this, and already we see NKL finding the first frag of the round onto Coldy. Do have a double up setup here on the CT side, so there's still the potential for that pick play style of things. And, well, the only problem is they've already cleared the A side, taken over, and you have to wonder whether or not the remaining CT players are going to try and save this one. In fact, they're not. Team are going to go aggressive, pushes through, finds a frag. This opens things up a little bit more as there's a further push coming out from NKL, who hasn't been very careful here, but still manages to find the headshot, and he's doing all the damage. Manages to take both players very, very low, and now, well, Bubble and Nikki should be able to clean this one out. Should being that word to highlight.
Bubble going to be pushing him short. NKL, or should I say Nicky, going to be finding one of his own. So now it's all going to be on Dima. He's got 13 HP to play with. He's going for the jump spot. That's really risky. Not quite sure why he's feeling like he needs to go for that now. And now he's going to be tagging through the smoke, trying to find something. But at this point, he should know he has no time. He should dart for long, try and save the rifle. But he's going to be caught completely off guard as that smoke will fade. Bubble will take him down. And we'll see another round go on the board for the Mortal Kombat side. Some great stuff coming out from them. But most importantly, an interesting comment you said right from the get-go, Tom, was the fact that Mortal Kombat are a team that usually don't let teams get to those comfortable full buys. Well, take a look at MK's economy, then take a look at Spirit.
Well, this is why I think, especially in the last week, we've seen this matchup as one of the heavier ones. And it's MK don't give teams a rest. And I feel like Team Spirit are a team that they have these sort of much more passive style of players. Like Davkos is quite a passive AWPer. He needs players to sort of push into his angle for him to be at his best. And he's going to want to like rotate his position. And it's MK just don't give him a chance to do that. They don't give him a chance to do anything. You're seeing them just rush out on corners, taking the picks down mid. Coldy, so many times already in this game, has just been completely overrun, not having even a second to think about what he's trying to do. The same has happened to Dima. And, well, Quebecan, it's only really been towards the end of rounds where we've seen sort of Davkos trying to clutch things out. But the real problem for me at the moment is they've really just allowed MK in a way to get so much money on the board that this is where they become really, really scary. And after winning one, being reset straight away, not able to do the work with the double ops, losing a player very early on, they're in such a problematic state that we could see a really heavy scoreline coming in for the MK side of things.
It's all about finding that heavyweight scoreline, Tom. He's full ahead with this one. He's going for the spray down straight through the smoke, dishing out so much damage there, in fact. It's now Demo eventually going to get punished. Now Starladder tagging towards short, and these pistols, well, they might find themselves a handful of attacks, most notably on Starladder, but it appears to be amounting to nothing. Now they are dropping into the deck one by one. Sophic, he's already at 20 HP. Tony and Dav, they have something to play with. Now we're going to find themselves being mollied off. Dav is being forced into the open. The spray down will roll, and Starladder going to dish out some damage, and, well, he might get knocked to 4 HP. Even then, now he can fall back to the backline. Knows that he doesn't have to take too much extended damage. We shouldn't be seeing any losses roll in for the MK side. So now we will see Sophic just play this one very, very passively. He's over towards B, trying to wrap around behind perhaps. Even then, what can he do?
Yeah, no, I don't think there's really anything the remaining players can do. Sophic, of course, can just buy a rifle straight on top of that Kevlar anyway, so going for a push here would just sort of be a waste of money. Yes, if he could grab a rifle towards the end, there's that possibility, but it's just not going to be happening. And, well, already we see 6 rounds coming onto the board for the MK side of things. It's looking pretty good for them to start. Of course, we are sort of talking about the idea that this is only map number 1. This is exactly the map that I thought they would choose, and it ends up going in this sort of style. I wouldn't be too worried just yet for Team Spirit, although they've gone for the Mirage pick, which is another map that MK are very happy to play, although they have had problems on it with Nikki being in the lineup, so you never know. There is still the potential for that to actually go back the other way. The only real problem I'm having now is that it had to be a double eco for the Team Spirit side of things, because, well, they rely so heavily on that AWP of Davkos and all that utility and having those 4 buys that they aren't able to do too much. Lovely shot coming in for Sophic there, managing to climb 1, and if they could do it this round, then hey, that would be absolutely magnificent, but Davkos already going to be taking a hefty bit of damage in return, but still a man advantage at least for the Team Spirit side.
It's going to be something for them to try and claw this one back. They, of course, have a huge advantage when it comes down to things. Those 3 rifles in the AWP bubble will be so strong up against these Deagles and P50s. But at the same time, Spirit, if they can overwhelm them and find themselves even one more pick, the potential for them to take this one in a fairly unexpected fashion will be on the cards. As this crossfire towards B potentially could bear some rewards, as they will go for the attack. The peak will roll in. The frag should come on the board, and Victor, he might find one, but as expected, Sophic, he's going to pick it up with a Deagle, and this is where things get a little bit worrying for the MK side. As now they could find themselves being overwhelmed by a horde of pistols, whereas they might have the AWP in play, but ideally I want to see 3 rifles at this point.
But yeah, the big factor as well is Sophic is now playing with armor and an AK, so he's not in such a weak position. Going to be solo playing that B site at the moment, but there is a quick rotation able. Well, there was until NKL killed him. Now we're looking just at Sophic. Got to at least find one, does that, looking for the peak. Buying a lot of time, actually going to find the second, and now this is nigh on done. There's no time. NKL, they knew exactly where he was, and, well, Quebec going to finish him off. Sophic with a huge round, managing to grab 4 kills, even saves an AWP, and a hell of a lot of money for the rest of his team, and he's going to buy up a secondary one, so yeah, a big round to actually be lost. Talk about the fact that MK, normally so good against these anti-ecos, not in that scenario. They actually got taken down by a crossfire, and because of it ended up going down to just 1 player ultimately. Either way, it's going to be a nice start. I think he's hit that shot almost every time at the moment. Bubble really is on fire, hitting those AWP tags, and, well, they still have a buy, of course. That is the one great thing about that MK economy, is they're going to have a buy no matter what, and that flashbang was so good, it just catches out Coldy. He's going to be down and out of the round again, one of the first players, and really suffering at the moment versus this MK lineup.
It's going to be kind of a bit of an aggressive round rolling out from MK. They're trying to find something, but Team Spirit looking to punish them, brings it back to a 4 versus 4. The HP on both sides being, well, fairly dented overall. You look at Victor, 11 HP, Davkost on 15, but the Spirit's push from Tony could be devastating, as he will find one, drops the bomb, goes to the spray down. Dima going to be doing the damage with a HE grenade. NKL, well, he's trying to claw things back, but even then, it's a 2 versus 3. Davkost might have 15 HP, but he's got an AWP, and ultimately, that's what's going to count. He's looking for those longer range shots. So now the Flying going to be taken down. We've got 55 seconds to work with on the MK side. Is Bubble and NKL alive? So 2 players who potentially could pull this one off. But at the same time, you could just hear those AWP shots rattling away. And if they keep playing in these ranges, it could prove to be very, very difficult indeed for the MK side.
Yeah, no, they've done wonders so far, but there's still quite a lot of low players. We are really going to be looking over towards Davkos. And he has to be very careful here, because even one stray bullet could take him down. He is going to go back towards long. Doesn't actually realize that the bomb will now be able to go down towards short. But his positioning does allow for a much easier retake position for the rest of his team, especially if he can find one of these frags. Not quite going to be going for the peak. He should now be able to tell the rest of his teammates that it's unlikely that there's anybody over towards the side at the moment. And, well, with him pushing from long, a couple of players pushing from different angles, there's a huge potential in this round. The only problem is it gives individual duels. And, well, Sophic going to go pushing through, actually going to get caught from behind. And in the meantime, well, it doesn't even matter. And KL falls. He finds 2 kills, cleaning up both injured players. And Bubble, well, plays that really nicely, just using the smoke to his advantage.
Very nice round unfolding. But take a look at Team Spirit's economy. They've not got ridiculous amounts to play with. They do have a couple high roller players. So it certainly is on the cards to put something into this round. But I think ultimately, due to how low Sophic and Tony are, it's going to be difficult.
For MK, that's a 4-buy.
But already look at that shot from Bubble straight down mid. You said he hit the shots every single round. Well, that time, he didn't just find a tack, Tom. He found a frag.
Yeah, the pinpoint that headshot. We are going to see some aggression from Kabakan to trade one back, but still just going to be a trade as he quickly falls. Not bad position from Cody to try and tap away at a couple of players, but it doesn't look like it's going to be paying off as Nicky, well, pretty damn good on this match so far. We are going to see potentially coming in from the remaining players and actually going to do the damage overall. And yeah, quite an easy round for MK, already winning the half. Going to be trying to take things a little bit further. The buy now will come back in, and they will have the AWP armor on every single player as well, which is nice. And of course, quite a hefty amount of utility, including 3 kits.
For me, Team Spirit, the one thing they want to deny is this 11-4 half. That's what MK are going to be pushing for, and well, they're going to be going for it in a very relentless manner. Now you can already see them look like they're going to be barreling 3 men straight down Suicide. A risky play, but it's paid off. They got full mid control, and Spirit, well, they haven't contested it at all. As now we're looking at one player to hold off mid. It will be Coldy. This push going to be coming straight out. The smoke will pop. And just Team Spirit, they're not facing this one. Oh, it could be devastating, but Coldy now right up behind them. Finds himself 1, finds himself 2, looking to make it 3. Gets taken down. The trades rolling out plenty for the MK side as now they've taken full control of the site. Bubble will take down Sophic, and suddenly, well, this beast right for the picking. There is no one there to hold these things off. And we'll take a look at Spirit. They've only got Tony and Dafkos standing. It's going to be a 2 versus 3. If they can find a frag on towards Spider, it will certainly help. But then take a look at Bubble. He rattles off another shot, takes down Dafkos. And we're looking at just 1 man and 1 man only for the Spirit side. And while they are lacking faith at this point, not much he can do. Should be going for the save, almost guaranteed, as he gets his way over towards Pit.
The big thing for me, if you put 2 players on the B side and neither of them get a kill, something has gone severely wrong. I don't know what just happened in that scenario where not able to find their kill. Spy Leader even going to add some insult to injury as we see Kabaka not able to find the frag either. But Coldy did exactly what was needed of him. He had players pushing in, he pushed through the smoke, finds 2 frags, and then the players on B find no one, even though one was pushing through door and the other was pushing through tunnels. You should have players watching there either way. The same, I was more worried about Sophic, who's actually in a hidden position, and an AWP manages to peek round the corner and kill him, which is just ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to do that with the AWP. And, well, more things you shouldn't be able to do with the AWP is hitting the tag every single time. It's actually starting to get a little bit scary. NKL will get taken down. Coldy doing work at least with the Deagle, but already 9 rounds on the board. MK going to be feeling pretty happy about this one. And you have to remember that if they do get to 11-4, then we're sort of talking way more about that sort of pistol round position, rather than what we should be talking about, which is actually the T side from Team Spirit.
100%. So now we're going to find ourselves looking at how this 14th round will unfold. It's going to be a frag from Victor, a clean headshot straight to the cranium of Sophic. And just right that way over towards mid. Spider will find himself 1 quick trades on the board. These pistols looking to do some damage at least. They have dropped Spider and NKL. But even then another tag will roll in. Coldy going to get dropped straight to level 11 HP, straight through the door from Bubble. And he's landing himself another tag. Just somehow pulling these tags out of thin air. You have to ask how he's hitting them. Well, at this point it's going to be Coldy hitting the deck, and 1 by 1 they will fall.
Yeah, only going to leave Demon left alive, P250, no armor. Really praying for those close range positions, and not going to happen, so 3 players staying alive. Not that I think it particularly mattered for the MK side of things, as the money is ludicrous at the moment. And, well, in terms of like the spread of frags, as you can see the observers showing it, it is not really an individual that we can talk about on the Team Spirit side, although this is sort of the AWP where I feel like they need Davkos more than most of the other players, and he is that one who's on 6, so I'm really disappointed by it, especially I think he had 6 by the first couple of buy runs they had. A lot of that was done with the P250s, and we haven't seen too much from that AWP just yet. Again, Quebecan just can't deal with the aggressiveness of this MK side. He just doesn't know what to do. Like, why are they rushing long? Why? Do you keep pushing me? I pull out a nade and you're already through the door. It's just this sort of brutal way to play the rounds. And just the trading as well is really, really nice at the moment from the MK side. Somebody peeks, does some damage, another player peeks, trades the kill, and every single time they're just keeping them at advantage all the way across the board. And I think the only way that would even manage to trade in this round is the individual push coming out at the moment from Victor. And there we go. It will actually hand the advantage back over as Davkos manages to trade out one of those kills.
We are going to be looking at Spider. The pressure going to be on for him. Bubble, certainly a player that can hit the shots with this AWP. But the rifle will need to have an impact down. A couple of shots can be rattled down towards mid. They're trying to find something. HE going to be thrown out. Won't actually dish out any damage at all. The Spirit looking fairly comfortable at the moment. The one player to look at on their side of things is going to be Dima. He's got 20 HP, so a couple of shots could end his life. But at the same time, things followed. He's been knocked down to 21 HP. Just a couple of shots raining through the door. Well, they didn't prove to be too fruitful. So now they're going to be looking for that A site. They've got that target well and truly painted onto the shoulders. But even then, Selfic, well, he doesn't care. He's lying in wait, just playing around these boxes, just waiting for the opportunity for the peak to roll on in. He will go for it, takes down Spider, drops the bomb. Now all he has to do is just stay crouched. He doesn't need to face.
Yeah, it does go to try and jump back to safety rather than actually take the peak, but unfortunately that's not quite going to be enough. And for Bubble, he has to move very quickly, but manages to grab that bomb. Will go for the plant, but he's running out of time now. I don't think it matters if he gets this kill. He would have to find the second one, and you can already see the runaway. Smart decision from Dima. That 20 HP really does, well, finish the round off in the end. But either way, we've come in with a 10-5 half. We can talk about the sort of idea that, well, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. I'm not sure. Actually, we haven't actually. I don't think we had a look at the odds. I don't know. Can we get the odds on the screen for the game? I think I can at least bring them up on my phone if it's the worst case scenario. But yeah, just want to have a look at how this is actually going, because I'm not too sure. I think it's probably favouring over towards that MK side of things.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't.
But I'll have it.
While you're whipping those one up, I'm just going to take a look at some huge one-taps coming in from Victor. He's just spamming them away, finds two. The trades will quickly be coming in. Coldy going to be looking to return that fade, and he does just that, brings it back to a 3 versus 3. It's now one. Well, this is very much on the cards for the Spirit side. They're barreling over towards the safe site. But they have slowed things down, notably adjusting the tempo. As MK, they don't look like they want to be going for that rotate just yet. They've got themselves at least over towards mid. Got a player onto the tip of short. Going to be Nicky playing that close elevator angle. But even then, can they hold this one off? As now they're going to be making the cross, get themselves live on site. Cool roll in. Nicky going to find himself one kill, takes down Coldy. Davkos trading things straight back, looking to do the work with a Glock. Upgrading to a USP. Now they can take those longer range battles. He's spamming away, looking for the head of NKL. Not quite going to find anything just yet, but realistically should be able to take the safe cross. And that's what counts. As now that bomb will be going down. Bubble and NKL, well, they need to find the retakes.
Yeah, looking for this retake from the MK side. It would be adding insult to injury if they're able to do this. They do not have a kit, and this peak from Dima is way too over-aggressive for my liking. Doesn't have a USP, so has to go for this sort of ridiculous push. And, well, unfortunately, that plays perfectly into the hands of the side of MK. They are going to be defusing the bomb. Had plenty of time to do it. Not really sure why they switched over players who were doing, but it does give us a chance to actually mention those odds, and it was actually a 76 to 24 in favour of the MK side, so actually quite hefty odds in their favour. I think that was probably based off the fact that they recently won, and well, it's sort of expected, and from what we've seen so far, it looks pretty accurate.
Certainly showing some benefits as currently we find ourselves looking at MK side who have walked away with the pistol round win. Spirit aren't going to be looking to upset this one. They've gone straight in with the Tech 9 armour. They've got a good chunk of utility to play with, so realistically speaking, they have everything they need in this round if they can find those close-range shots. But already the HG grenade is looking to dish out some damage, knocking down Coldy and Davkos already by a good chunk. There's no MK. Well, they're going for the push. Spider, he's holding nothing back at all. Goes to the push, drops the bomb, finds a headshot, looking to make it 2, spamming them away. Can he find any more damage? It seems no. Coldy will find the trade, but already they have the information of where the bomb is. It won't be too fruitful because the bomb being top mid doesn't really hint exactly where it's going to be heading. But already certainly a nice frag and some nice money being made.
Well, yeah, of course, only the SMG loss so far. Not going to be anything too viable just yet. It will be a quick push coming onto the short position. Only one player defending and just going to go for the spray with the FAMAS. He's got 3 players rushing him down. Needs to try and find these frags and slowly being tagged away, but not actually dying just yet. Staying alive for quite a long amount of time. However, there will be trades coming in either way, and it's actually going to come into the benefit of that T side for just a moment. We will see the quick trade come back in. rifle onto Davkos, so he is going to go further back and try and hold this from a long position. The only problem is it really isn't the best weapon to actually try and do this with. Bubble will be boosted up. He's already going to be going for the defuse. In fact, they boosted up the wrong player. I don't think that was the right decision. The kid was actually onto the other side, and what? What? Okay, well, when the FAMAS doesn't work, I suppose, just find 2 1-taps with a Tech 9 from 100 meters away. You know, that just Valve.
There is one thing I want to touch on as well, is that Bubble didn't get boosted up, but he did find a jump shot with a scout after to kill that player who planted the bomb.
Yeah, the only thing is, if it had been Bubble that was boosted up, they would have got that, because he had a kit. It seemed a bit of a misplay from my eyes, from the NK side of things. Either way, Team Spirit beat MK at their own game. The force buy pays off, and well, definitely some mistakes that came in that round. Of course, we are going to see a force buy straight the other direction. I think that's actually quite a common trait to try and do. They want to break straight back into this one and not give Team Spirit any break time, which seems to be the MK style of things. But the more important thing is, if Team Spirit manage to win this round, then will we actually see the save come out from MK? Because that would be when we see that sort of ludicrous style of things, and there is actually a chance to get back into the game. Another thing, a factor would be, is whether or not they're going to save up to get Bubble on that off, although he already seems to be doing it himself, and maybe they're playing things a little bit safe so far. Either way, Spy Leader going to be the first one dropped. Already we see mid falling into the hands of the T side. Bubble going to be looking to try and find something through the smoke, and some extra damage done onto Sophic will actually force them to pull back here and go for a more aggressive short push. At the moment, this could work out very well, as they do not have anyone on the A site itself. A quick rotation from Bubble will give him a bit of a chance. He needs to start connecting, as Sophic now takes the tech clean off. A quick trade will allow it to still be in a 3 versus 4, and a lot of damage coming into on a couple of players, so they do have to be a little bit careful here. We do see aggression coming out now from Nicky. He is going to find one, still doing the damage, and, well, still both players actually on towards the site now.
And they're taking full control. The one concerning factor is look at Sophic's HP. It's not enough. He will get dropped. Nicky will take him down. Now we're back to a 2 versus 2. And well, the bomb is actually well and truly in MK's favour. Push, roll in. But Victor, he's going to find another frag. Now has the information. Doesn't need a face. Playing around these boxes. And it's going to be Nicky to find the shot in the end. Takes down Colby. And well, the force up might work. But now MK, they've brought it straight back. And well, it's come back in their favour. 12-6.
Well, that was a pretty good way for Nicky to bring himself back up the scoreboard. He was slightly further away from the rest of his teammates, but a quad kill in a force buy round, you can't really complain too much about that one. And, well, we're actually going to see a force buy come in again from the T side. More interestingly for me is, rather than getting Davkos onto an AWP, they decide to drop Sophic and AK instead. So, sort of passing it over, and I would have actually liked to see the AWP come in. If you're going to go for a force, you might as well go for it with your best player arguably on his favourite weapon. Definitely something that's not coming in on the CT side just yet, so it would have added a bit more of a surprise factor. Instead, they're relying quite heavily on that one AK. They can chuck it around to different players. Maybe it's more of the fact that they have more competent riflers than they do AWPers, but at the same time, I would have actually liked to see that come in, especially being at dust2, and he could have done some nice early damage. Either way, they are still going to have the Tech 9s on the remaining players. They made it work before, but slightly more and more effective rifles on that CT side. And, well, we also have the Scout onto Bubble. Going to be holding that cross position. Not quite the same as the AWP, but if he can hit those tags, he'd definitely give a huge advantage over to his teammates. And actually, a few players already low.
That's going to be the thing now, tagging another player. Any damage he does, even with tags, it's going to be great. It's now the HQ grenade won't quite connect. It's going to be the double long push rolling out. He gets the information for his team. Comes in with a shot straight through the smoke as well. Spider going to be stepping up to the plate, just finding out the damage. And one by one, well, MK, they are destroying the Spirit side. They might have found a frag on towards Bubble towards the end of that one, but it's going to be nothing as that defuse. Well, it's going to be lying in wait, making sure they pick up the best possible rifles to come out of this round with. But it's still going to be MK pushing things up to 13.
Do you know what I love about that round? So, Bubble peeks back, sees 2 players at long, and then goes, nah, don't worry, Victor's got this, I'm going to go and shoot someone on sight. So much confidence in his teammates there, and I like, to be fair to him, Victor found both kills. That's not where he died from. So, actually really nice stuff there. I like the fact that he had the reliability on his teammate. Bubble currently at the top of the board, doing exactly what's necessary of him, and just look at Spy Leader go. He's not content with just letting these Ts have map control. He's going to go running all the way up the top. NKO will do the same into tunnels, and this is already just a brutal round for the T side. We'll manage to get one back. That's an AK dropped over into the hands, but they've got to actually retrieve it, and Victor's trying to cover this one off. Even a double shot coming in from Bubble just to add even more insult to injury. And Spy Leader will close things out. Only one player dropped, and that's going to be 14-6. A pretty dominating position at the moment from the Bulgarians.
Just got to sit there and go Bubble. He's just coming up trumps with everything. 19-7. But then why just talk about Bubble when we can talk about Victor as well? 17-11.
Well, everyone. I don't think
ultimately what it is, yeah, it's everyone, every single player on the Mortal Kombat side really upping the ante, coming in with impact frags. Nicky, who might be towards the bottom of things, but tell me around where he's not had an impact.
For me especially as well, like, Team Spirit had to know that there was a stand-in. Why wouldn't you go for a more tactical map? It just seems insane to me that you have two bans and you just allow this to go through. Like, you know that they're not going to have Dreamer, one of their star players, if not the star player. And I just feel like going for Dust 2 is basically saying to Nicky, do you know what, we're going to give you the most comfortable ride you can, make things nice and easy. And we've already seen them lose this map earlier in the week. Why would they feel like they could do it this time? Nice start to the round though. Dima and Davkos finding a couple of entry frags, so starting things off very, very nicely. But now they want to keep this one as clean as possible. If they are going to roll this one back, then they really have to do it now. And, well, Cody's going to add more insult to injury for CT side. But Victor will manage to grab one. I don't think they're going to go for this one. You can already see falling back towards long, trying to save the weapons. And at the same time, I don't think Team Spirit should really challenge this because they should know that the MK are going to come back with a bye anyway. So just taking these players out of the round, if they lost two themselves, they could reset themselves if they lose the next round and go into possibly the final round of the game with no money.
So we'll see, that's the thing for me. You really just hit the nail on the head. Mortal Kombat, they aren't going to be going out of this round going, oh guys, we lost a round. Oh god, it's all over, everything's gone wrong. No, they're going to be going, alright, great guys, we lost a round. Good job guys. Okay, let's bring it back now. Bring this back this next round, break Team Spirit's economy and win the game. That's what they're going to be saying, because if they do win this next round, well, Team Spirit, they're going to be left with nothing to contest MK just walking away with this map.
Yeah, that's the real big factor at the moment for me. They're going to have to make sure they string a hell of a lot of rounds together from this point on. They are on the T side, so a buy is slightly more valuable, or viable I should say, but they still don't even have enough to get the sort of decent nades buy on the board. You can see, yeah, pretty hefty fragging power at the moment, and it is the stand-in who's bottom of the board, but still having pretty impactful moments, to say the least. And, well, we're going to see an aggressive peek towards long at the moment. Victor is going to try and get out, throw some counter nades, but already the long position has pretty much fallen, and he will have to fall back.
So they have forced them off, but now they still have to work with this. It's all well and good gaining map control, Tom, but if you don't execute into it, well, you might as well say it's all intents and purposes useless. StarSeries, they are going to be just kind of popping around long. Not going to be doing too much just yet, but these smokes, they're going to be good. They will be just blocking off short. Now they will be just tiptoeing their way up long. The one problem they've got is take a look at Bubble's position. He is ready and waiting. The Molotov will be dropped, slowing them down even further. There is 1 minute 15 on the clock, so they aren't necessarily in a rush. But even then the rotates, well, for MK, they should be fairly comfortable.
Let's go for slightly the wrong moment. It is going to be a couple of trades coming back with the CTs now in favor. Bubble playing a very passive position, will actually miss the shot, but gets given a second chance. That Molotov will push him out of position and make his name just that little bit more ironic. Either way, Davkos will manage to grab himself a kill, and this is looking a little bit better now for the T side. And KL realizing he cannot pull off that jump, and going to slow down his rotate quite a hefty bit, meaning Nicky will fall in the meantime, and, well, from quite a horrible scenario, it has become a much better one. If he can find this kill, though, onto Sophic, he actually has a pretty big chance in this one. It doesn't look like he's going to be going for this, just going to be falling back over towards a more passive position in tunnels, and, well, Team Spirit will survive. Especially say survive, because you actually look at their health, and this round really could have flipped in any sort of scenario and they could have been crushed out. Keeping 3 players alive is somewhat of a luxury considering how the round actually went.
Well, the interesting factor is take a look at MK's economy. They do have 2, well, look, not even 2 to be honest. Taking a look at 1 player, Victor, he's got $6,700, but they can't really launch a buy off of this. So for the most part, unless something huge comes out of the bag and MK decide to go back to their old let's force up every single round kind of playstyle, we should be seeing the 9th round on the board for Spirit. Not too much being done by MK, but it depends on how they want to go about this one.
I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if they went for this at all. They have a rifle saved. You can see they're actually going to drop some pistols rather than go for anything too hefty, which is a pleasant surprise. Still going to buy up some armor behind it and going to try and make it work, but I would not have been surprised if they went for that. Just the 8,000 on that sort of position there, 4,600, and they had a player with a rifle as well. I actually thought it was going to be coming, but they surprised me a little bit, but it doesn't seem to matter too much. They're doing a hell of a lot of damage with these pistols. There's already so many low players, and this is just the way they do it. Already finding themselves two, straight through smoke. We're going to look for another one. Bubble still going, tapping away with that horrific sounding gun, and now Davkos, he's gone from having a 5v5 with the beneficial weapons to absolutely nothing in this scenario. He's the last player left alive, going to throw the AWP away, as even he's sort of skeptical about whether he'll do this. And Nicky going to add insult to injury. Absolutely ridiculous. One reason why pushing out long does have that huge sort of risk factor, and I feel like once they saw that many players, they should have just retreated back, but they pushed in, tried to take the jewels, and Bubble, well, triple kill, doesn't matter what he has.
I love how you just say pushing along is kind of expected for that to happen, though. Is it normal for pistols to stand there and just spam through the smokes? 5 pistols? That's a huge round coming out from MK.
Yeah, no, it was. Thing is, with 3 players rushing long, that actually is quite a common strategy, especially if it's a counter to teams taking over in the last round. So I wouldn't say it's that surprising a factor for them. If I'm honest, I'm a little bit worried by the fact that they kind of, one player rushed out, died, and they were just like, oh my god, let's keep going, we can just crush them. And it just didn't work out for them. In this round, at least, Davkos has managed to find that first pick. It's going to be NKL falling early on, and of course there is now that potential for them to actually do what has been done to them so many times, where they could break back the economy. The only thing is now they have to actually string 7 rounds in a row together before they can even continue to fight in this map.
Well, that's riding off MK coming out with a huge play. They only have a 1-man disadvantage. It's not like we've not seen them pull it back in the past. Now Nicky, the first time he's played this spot in this map so far. So this could be a bit unexpected for Spirit as they look to be clawing their way out of this one. They are going to check it, so they will be going for the shots. They will take him down, so they do have control of the site. And I want to be able to keep things together.
Nice shot from Davkos, going to deny Bubble any way of bringing this round back into contention. The remaining 2 players not going to be going for this one. They'd have to be nigh on insane to actually try and go for something like that. They will see Davkos actually fall, and there is the potential to find an AWP, but it looks like Spy Leader has other ideas altogether. Just going to fall back, not risk actually saving that weapon. And, well, nice round coming out from Davkos, actually opening up not only the mid-peak, but also towards the site as well. So really doing his work to a T. They'll get themselves a ninth round on the board, probably be able to save that AWP if they want to, but it doesn't seem like they're really pushing in that direction just yet. We will actually see Kibakan going forward towards it, and he should be able to grab that AWP just before the round ends, and there we go. So that's going to be some extra cash saved up, and the remaining 2 players, well, both over towards long, shouldn't be any chance of them falling in this scenario. And now we're going to be looking towards that MK economy, and actually, just from the ability to win that round with pistols, they've got enough money to come up with a buy in this scenario. Victor will have to drop for Bubble, possibly even an AWP, but then Nicky and NKL can actually buy for themselves.
It's going to be a nice round. But even then, MK, they're going to be looking to go into this one still guns blazing. They've got those 2 M4s. 2 AKs on Spirit. We can see exactly how either team want to go about this one. But we are going to see a pause roll in. Now I am curious to see if this is going to be a tactical or if it's a technical. That's going to be a big point, because it could just be a technical. We've sat here in the past and we've gone, oh, this is a great tactical pause, and then it's come out that it is a technical. But this would be a good time for Spirit to potentially try and call one. At the same time, they have a little bit of momentum. So it is kind of that combo breaker.
I would say that for me it would have been better if it was an MK pause, just trying to get themselves over the line, but it is technical, so not anything we can really rave about in this scenario. It's just going to be something going wrong with one of the PCs, internet troubles, whatever you like, but either way it still gives both the teams the talk. We are not watching them from wireless like webcams in their rooms, and we can't tell if they're talking to each other, so they can actually just give themselves a little bit of a time to think this one over and, well, give a little bit of a talk. So for me, either way, MK, I don't think it's going to be too surprising a decision to buy here. Like, it actually seems like a pretty safe bet, in fact, for them to go for something. The only question will be whether Victor actually drops an AWP for Bubble, and then he's buying back into the round with the full buy, or whether they'll just go for the rifles and get a lot of nades on the board. Whatever they do decide to do, it should be a pretty hefty buy coming back in, and well, Team Spirit themselves, they have dropped an AWP over to Davkos. He'll come back in with armor and nades, and they're going to have a full buy themselves. So looking like coming towards the end of things, we are going to see, well, basically exactly what was predicted, which makes me look smart for once. And, well, no surprise, really. It was pretty easy to tell.
And I'm just going to wait to get back into the swing of things. And I mean, from a predictive perspective, you're going to hate me for this, Tom. So I'm more than expecting some hate here. But do you think MK are going to shut them down this round? Well, especially now they've got the orphan play on the hands of Bubble? Or are we going to see Spirit start to string some rounds together, gain some momentum, and look at bringing this one back to overtime?
Well, the big thing for me is dive cost. So I'm basically going to try and avoid your question and answer it with another question. But will he actually find that frag early on? Will he be able to open up the sights? If yes, then sure, they're going to take the round. But if not, and it's Bubble taking him down early on, then we've seen this team become a little bit more empty. You've seen later, like at the very beginning of the game, he was bottom of the board with 6 frags, or bottom of the fragging count at least. Now you see him at the top of the board, which is much more expected. He is not only statistically the best player, but also the AWPer for the team. So you have to sort of look towards that sort of fragging point, and it is on both teams, where both top fraggers are the AWPers at the moment. It's just whether or not Bubble, well, we saw him hitting every single shot down mid, nigh on every during the T side. On the CT side, he has had his moments, but most of it's been with the pistol, and I'm looking to see what he'll actually do with the AWP. Not going to go for that aggressive peek, because you can see Davkos not going to be handed anything early on, and I think this is probably a better decision from the NK side of things, because they don't just want to hand away that first frag. They've gone for a little bit of long aggression again, with 2 players pushing to see if there's anything coming that way, but so far just a slow start to the round from Spirit, building up over towards the sort of T-spawn positions, taking over tunnels, and just making sure there's no aggressive pushes in this round, at least coming out from the Bulgarians.
For me, going to come down to timing. So we have 1 minute 20 on the clock. Team Spirit are going to be looking to gain themselves some map control. It's actually going to be something leading the charge, getting himself up towards short. And even I feel like they need more than just one man to try and probe this one out, as he will be clearing it off piece by piece, block by block. But Bubble, he's holding that angle, so if he decides to push up any further, well, he'll find himself left without a head. Dima actually going to kick things off, takes down Starladder, so a nice way for him to open things up. Kabak actually going to be backing off here, making sure that doesn't overextend towards long. But look at how close it's actually going to be Spicter pushing.
Yeah, this is already a decent start. Nicky now trying to find the trade back. I was going to say he pushes into the crosshair of Cody, but Cody just doesn't find that shot, and that's a huge opener at the moment. The remaining players are going to come barreling onto the site, into the crosshair of Bubble, which I would say is exactly what I'd want to see, because Bubble, he's going to be hitting those shots. He's going to be finding things nice and easily. We'll rotate back towards long, ready for a retake position, and well, already we're going to see a couple of nades being thrown onto the site. No presence actually coming from short at the moment, although Nicky is slowly making his way over, but it doesn't matter because every other player's been picked up. A missed shot from Sophic is going to end this game, and you just see a nice retake coming in from the NK side of things, making this one look easy.
Some sheer confidence coming out from Bubble towards the end, like the fact that he went towards pit. He didn't stick around. You see a lot of AWPers when they're playing that angle just basically go, we're going to stand here, we're going to go for every single shot until we die. But no, he fell back towards pit, played the retake scenario, was ready with his team. They used all of their nades, most importantly their HE grenades, to dish out the damage and make sure that, well, when they did decide to go for the retake, they were all around 30 to 40 HP. And from there it was a nice and quick and easy mop-up.
Yeah, either way, we are going to see the map changing. We will be going on to Mirage, which will be the pick of Spirit, so that's at least something. The map pick that has been won is by MK. I did say when I saw that in the map port originally that I thought it was a little bit of a risk, and Mirage is just as much of a risk because I think it's another map that MK are going to be very happy to play. Also, you do have to talk about the fact that when Nicky has been playing, the Mirage has been weakened, but most of that we're just going to have to wait and see what actually happens, as we will come back for map 2 in just a moment.
E-Gaming Bets. We accept bets on computer games online since 2011. Referral system for regular users and the first deposit bonus. Gaming devices store and the best choice of payment systems. Dota2 and Hearthstone, Counter-Strike and StarCraft, World of Tanks and League of Legends. EGB.com. You know for sure who's going to win.
Getting tired of playing with the usual skins but don't have enough money to buy a new one? Get rich fast with CSGoFast.com. CS Go Fast. It's a strong chance of winning in every game. Several rooms with different game modes. Daily, more than 1,000 games, 5,000 players, and 25,000 skins at stake. You don't need much in order to sweep the board.